But the chairs was a great call because there were only a couple of chairs, but it was quite a big deal for the channel, Like,
yeah, it was
we were just sat at the desk all the time with the camera looking down on us, so you couldn't really see.
Yeah.
And then you were on that really uncomfortable fold-out wooden chair.
I tell you what, I got a lot of like comments on that being super uncomfortable. That thing, I never had an issue with that chair.
Well, we'll get it back out then. You don't.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reactorverse Podcast. It's been a little while as we've been building up a few shows here on the channel. I appreciate everyone tuning into those new ideas that we've been trying lately. We have a lot coming up on the channel and the Patreon, so please check us out there. But I'm excited to be back today with today's guests, the boys from across the pond, Jack and Dan from Jack and Dan React. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Hey guys.
Thank you for having us. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Of course. I've been following you for a little while now. I found you through your Easy A reaction that you put up. I was going through the binge of reactions for that, and that's the first one that popped up for me. So good on the algorithm for that.
Nice. Cool. Yeah.
It was a fun movie. It was actually quite great.
Yeah, I really love that movie. But I immediately fell in love, with the channel's, humor, the vibe, the tone that you guys have between each other. And I'm very happy to have you on to just hear your thoughts, as you say,
Nice.
I like it.
And I do want to also point out that this interview is somewhat special because your channel is fairly new. You've only been around for about a year and a half now, and you've made some, really great strides in that time. But you're actually the second channel we've had on that's actually younger than this podcast. So, so it's really fun to have that on and just see the continued growth of the space, since I started this.
That's great, yeah. So two newbies tackling it. It's quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're definitely you don't seem new to the game. You guys have a very natural dynamic on screen and with the material that you're watching that I think has really endeared people to you. That's why it's been such a success so far. Just to get into the the backstory there, as we start with the beginning of everything. Between the two of you, I guess, what is the story there? How did you two meet?
Do you want to kick it off?
We met in September 2013.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, probably something like that. At university. Yeah,
on a badminton court, no less.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we met September 2013. But then I think we sort of got a bit closer and we started being good pals the following year. I think.
Yeah, it took a bit of time. I was a little bit antisocial, as I do have a habit to be.
You say antisocial, I say mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the corners, in the shadows, being mysterious.
Yeah. Well, so it took a little while, but eventually, we ended up getting on really well, and we're just really good mates through uni, and then left uni, and have kind of just stuck together since. I suppose we had some travels over to Canada. We had a little travel year over there. After university, and then we moved up to Newcastle shortly after that, and the rest is really history. We just keep hanging out. You can't get rid of me. I'm like a bad smell. I'm lingering. So,
was there any sort of specific interest or like hobby that you guys sort of shared that helped in that initial bonding experience to get you to acquainted with each other?
Oh, I'll answer this one because I have just really vivid memories of playing Diablo 3 with you.
Oh wow, that's very specific. Yeah.
On the PS4.
Yeah.
Initially we met over badminton. We played a lot of badminton together.
Right.
And then when we realized that we were both into gaming, Diablo 3 was our initial game.
Yeah.
And then I think we spent several evenings a week just playing that together.
Yeah, and we had as we learned over time, a very similar upbringing with gaming and TV, and the things that we liked were always very similar. Oh, I love that. You love that too. It just ended up working out like that. And then I think the other major thing that we've overlooked is just that, we just always had such a good laugh together. And I found you so funny from the get go, and I think we just connected in that way as well. We just had the same sense of humor as well, I guess. Yeah,
so, that helps.
Yeah. Probably get all of those things together. Really, is what did it.
Yeah, I mean that's what you definitely brought to the channel is that banter that you guys have. It's a very natural, very, very quick. But prior to the channel itself, were you familiar with the reaction space, the format, before you started, trying it out yourself?
I was. In particular, I watched loads of reaction content. Every sort of day with dinner, I'd find a new reaction video. And then, I don't think, not so much for you though.
Not as much, particularly with like movie reactions. I'd never really seen much of it. I watched a little bit of like music reactions. I'm big into music. I like my metal music, and I was more into that side of it if I ever did watch any reaction content. So I did a bit of that, but never the film and TV scene. So it was really Jack who kind of brought me over to the idea, you know.
I'm like, sit down, watch a movie with me.
Yeah.
So Jack, were you the one that sort of spearheaded the idea for the channel, and then introduced Dan into it?
Yeah, pretty much. I like I said, I enjoyed watching it so much, and there was a lot of channels. I watched like Just Trust Ash, and then Hannah's channel as well. Don't Trust Hannah, and I think those guys in particular, I just saw how much fun they had, and I thought I want to try it, and then I gave it a go. I did a solo vid, and it didn't go very well. And then
you didn't feel like it didn't go very well. It might be great.
This is something, right? I never even edited it, which I think is something I wish I could go back and say, just give it a go.
Yeah.
See it through.
Yeah.
But
it'd be fun to watch now.
Yeah. Instead, I went and got Dan and was like, come watch a movie with me. And I'll record us.
Yeah, so it really was Jack who kicked it off. But I think we'd always played around with like making stupid videos and having stupid in-jokes and this kind of thing. And it felt like a bit of a natural idea to try and follow, is to just sit down, watch a movie and have a laugh and see if we can make something out of it,
Yeah, and it's just like, I think we had like a lot of free evenings, and it was just like trying to learn a new hobby, trying to learn like video editing and and just having some fun with your mate, really. So,
right. I mean, you mentioned the video editing aspect of it. That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to getting started with a channel like this. There's obviously a lot of technical learning curves to get through, performative learning curves, such as being on camera, such like that. Were there any sort of hills you felt you had to climb at first just to get started? In terms of just being comfortable on camera or like learning the software and the technology.
Do you remember how hard the intros were to record when we first started?
I was going to say, I think the hardest thing at the start was getting through the intros, because it felt a lot more difficult without having anything to bounce off. Like once the movie started, even from, I would say, the first movie we did, it felt so much easier once you had the movie to,
provide the structure,
sort of work with. Yeah. Whereas the intros and outros were just all us, and starting that for the first time was really awkward, and your channel's brand new and you have nothing established, and it was a bit of a learning curve there for sure.
But I think in regards to like learning the editing software, I think it was pretty intuitive. I think especially like Premiere Pro, I think you just you put it on the timeline and you just cut it together a little bit, and then I think you learn a bit more as you go.
I think it's worth mentioning that we'd both worked with computers a lot in the past, and obviously like your actual job was like in web development, which I know it's not the same skills, but you're kind of very handy with computers, which I think gives you a good base to start from, for the editing point of view.
Yeah. It helps, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. I think it does. Yeah.
And I streamed on Twitch a bit as well. So I think that maybe was transferable in being in front of a camera, but it was weird. Like recording and streaming is
quite different.
It feels very different. Yeah.
Because I think when recording or streaming, people describe it as a roller coaster. It's kind of just, you just go, it just takes you, and you kind of just go along for what the ride, leads you to. Whereas pre-recorded, you have the inclination to want to stop, to like take again, like do it again, because you feel you can maybe do it better. So you kind of get in your own head about it. But getting into, the reaction itself, like you said, with the material, with the show or the film, it becomes sort of an improv experience, because you're almost yes-anding the show or the film, and you're sort of like having that experience, like just like bouncing off of it, like you mentioned. But when you finally did get started, films obviously are a big thrust of what the channel focuses on. What is your sort of background with film and television, stuff like that, in terms of just like your general interest in it, and how that sort of was opened the door for you to be able to watch so many movies on the channel?
Background, honestly, it's going to sound a bit boring. Like not much of a background other than I loved going to the cinema so much. I would go on my own. Like I didn't even care. Like I would go on my own most weeks, just watch anything that's coming out.
Yeah.
It was like a safe space almost. Like if I ever felt overwhelmed, I would just slip out to the cinema and just immerse myself in a new world and just forget
Just go and sit in a quiet room for a few
Yeah,
hours. Yeah,
yeah.
I feel exactly the same. Yeah.
And then I would just love having like just chilling at home with a movie as well. And I think we had like a phase, didn't we, where we watched all the X-Men movies. I don't know if you recall.
God, way back. Yeah.
Before we had any idea of making a channel. So I think we would just naturally like to hang out and maybe throw a movie on. And
yeah, I think we're just a pair of nerds, and we just love movies, like media of all kinds, and we just bonded over it at the same time. And yeah, it's just kind of a natural thing.
Has that been difficult to balance with the channel now? Have you like put off movie theater experiences or like your personal viewings because it might be better for the channel, or something you're still sort of figuring out?
No, I still go to the cinema. Like sometimes if there's a movie coming out and we're like, oh, that would be a good one for the channel, we will hold off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're trying not to let it get in the way of hanging out with friends. If a friend wants to go to a cinema, I would like to spend time with my friends, and if that's what they want to do, then I'll go to the cinema with them. But
it's a funny thing. Like for me, I feel like I almost never watch anything outside of the channel these days, or not much. And I do feel a bit of that pressure to like maybe not watch stuff. But in reality, it's barely impacted it. It's it's mostly me just putting that on to, this was me putting it onto myself, really, because we've never really had that issue where we've watched something recently and we thought, oh, we could have done that, and we just haven't.
I think I was going to go to the cinema with a mate the other day, and he wanted to watch 28 Years Later, and I felt bad. I was like, no, because that's probably one that we might
So you did that
channel.
time.
So I did, yeah.
Okay. So now we have to do that one.
But I think like genre wise, we do a lot of horror. So I think typically I would
right.
Yeah, if it's a movie that's going to be more for the channel, then I'll postpone. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You started with Pearl. That was the first movie that kicked off the channel.
Yeah.
It's a great one to start with. That's one of my partner's favorite films. So she was really excited about that for you guys.
Cool.
When we watched that. And yeah, that sort of, set the tone for what the channel would be. Like you mentioned, with horror being like the primary sort of, thrust of the channel at first, especially in the first, few months of that before you started branching out into other sort of genres. Was that sort of a conscious choice when you started, or was that something just that naturally evolved from that first selection?
I think they're easier to react to. I think
at least from my memory, it was at least a semi-conscious choice.
Yeah.
Because it was, as we said earlier, more of your creation, the channel at the beginning. And I think you wanted to do more of the horror kind of stuff. And I'd never watched any horror, barely, before we started the channel. So it was perfect.
Now look at you.
For me as well, yeah. It was perfect for me to dive into because it was completely new. And I think, like Jack says as well, it's just like really easy and fun and ridiculous to react to often.
Yeah,
because just the way that they are horror movies.
We had a big horror streak and with A24, the Midsummer and Hereditary, they were great for the channel to react to. I just think that particular genre does lend itself quite well to being reacted to.
Yeah, and a great call as well, because that absolutely was the case for a while, as we pretty much only did horror until I would guess sometime around where we did the Hunger Games, maybe. Before that, I would say mostly horror, probably for a few months of the channel.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you did horror, and then you sort of broke into a little bit of the YA territory with Hunger Games, Twilight, Maze Runner, those type of films. It seemed like like I said, it's a natural reaction to have to it because it's heightened emotions, heightened intensity. But through the horror, despite it being such an intense experience, you brought humor to the channel right away. Like that's, I think, what really made the channel shine is just how funny you guys are and how natural you interact with each other and the material at the same time. You're very quick-witted. It's very sharp. And I was, like busting up laughing. I was trying not to wake up my partner watching you guys this past week, catching up on some reactions to some of you guys. It was a lot of fun to catch up on and binge some of your stuff. I guess, what are some of your comedic inspirations or influences, I guess? Do you have any sort of training experience with that, or does it just come naturally to you?
That's a great question.
I would say off the bat that Jack is just one of the funniest people I've met, just naturally. So as a friend of Jack, I can definitely say that. And obviously we bonded over our sense of humor. So I think a lot of it does just come naturally from, being pretty close mates and, shared experience and stuff.
I think the fact that we go back 12 years.
Yeah.
I think that really lends itself to us as being so comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
And just allowing ourselves to be completely ourselves and as silly as we normally are.
Yeah. And I think that talking about the improv element of that, I think that actually really helps. If you want to call it like a sort of improv exercise in a way, to sit down and watch the movie together and crack some jokes, like being comfortable with a friend like that really makes it so much easier. So I'd say that is a big element of it for sure.
I actually, when I was in school, I went to a comedy, improv, and script writing class.
Yeah,
which is a very niche thing to do. I feel
well, you've had some training then.
It was fun. Yeah, it was like a 2-day thing, I think, and that was quite fun. Just learning all like the concepts of comedy and things, and yeah, I just think like we would always like make silly little videos together as well, which I always think was quite fun, and I think helped us. But as another like inspiration type thing, I would always, growing up, watch this TV show. It's called Live at the Apollo. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's a show where all these comedians come on. It's like a stand-up show, I guess. And that was something I always really enjoyed. So I guess I've always enjoyed comedy. Not sure if I'm the best at it, but yeah.
No, you guys definitely have a very natural dynamic on screen that I think it's just really enjoyable, especially like you said with like the early videos of like Hereditary, Midsommar. It lightens the experience, I think, and it makes it unique. I remember people, in the comments, reading the comments of this video saying like, I've seen this movie a dozen times now. I will remember just new elements of it because of the jokes that you made. That's now forever tied to it. How has that dynamic evolved or been refined over the last year and a half as things have just evolved with the channel? Just introducing the chairs, so to speak, or even like stepping away from the pausing that you did early on.
Yeah. Jeez, that's a good call.
The pausing was something that we were really keen on, I think,
early on.
Yeah.
I think so.
We didn't want to miss anything. We always wanted to pause if we were going to talk, so we didn't talk over anything.
Yeah.
But I think that just became too hard to maintain.
There was one video, and I think it was Midsummer, and you edited that one, and you said it was something like 4 hours of raw footage or something.
Yeah.
And that was a moment where it was like, okay, maybe we're doing it too much. We were pausing like dozens of times in every video.
And then we started doing the Patreon where we would offer like a watch along, sync up the video and watch with us, and you can't really do that if you're going to pause like 40 times.
Absolutely,
it's not an enjoyable experience.
But then in terms of the progression, I think we've just generally kind of got more experienced, if you can call it that. Like, we've established a bit more of a structure with the intros and outros, and everything feels a little more natural when we sit down in front of a camera now. And in the same way, we feel like we maybe don't need to pause as much. We're a bit more capable of talking around the movie, and we're not perfect. Like, there's definitely moments that will slip by us and stuff, but I think you kind of get this strange knack for trying to talk around the movie without missing anything. It's
able to talk to each other, but then also keep hearing what's going on in the background.
The multitasking thing going on. Yeah. So I think like you just get a bit of practice doing this very strangely specific thing of like, being able to chat while the movie's going on and keeping up with the movie. And
but the chairs was a great call, because it was there were only a couple of chairs, but it was quite a big deal for the channel, like we were just sat at the desk all the time with the camera looking down on us, so you couldn't really see. And then you were on that really uncomfortable fold out wooden chair.
I tell you what, I got a lot of like comments on that being super uncomfortable. That thing, I never had an issue with that chair. I could sit on that for hours. It's fine.
Well, we'll get it back out then. You don't. Not a problem.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you just, again, you refine over time. Your natural ability to interact with the material is something that comes more to fruition as you do it more often. There's definitely a multitasking element to it. There's beats that you can hone in on and be like, okay, I can maybe jump in here between a line, between a scene cut. I can add a joke or an opinion here, and as time goes on, those things get better. But you mentioned the Patreon itself, and that being sort of like another major element of why you had to sort of phase out the pausing for the full length reactions, which is the bread and butter of any sort of reaction Patreon, as people can expect that. The Patreon itself, you launched it a few months after the channel launched, and that's always sort of a tricky threshold to cross for a lot of channels, because it makes it feel like, okay, this is real. There's now an expectation of, like goods to give out to people because they're paying for it. Did that milestone feel like, it put more pressure on you, or did it feel like more motivational to help you, now start putting out more content for the subscribers?
A bit of both, I think.
Yeah, I think it really coincided with, there was a time between the two of us, it must have been May or June last year, where we decided to make a video a week every week.
I think it was the end of June.
Right. Sometime around then, and you'd see it on the channel's history, we started posting every week, and I think the Patreon happened around that time, if not a little earlier. So coinciding with that was, I would say, more motivational, because we just had made that decision to try and take it a bit more seriously. It was getting a bit of traction, and
while it was motivational, though, it also is a bit of stress, because in the back of your head you're also like, man, we got to deliver every week now because these people are paying for it, and and I mean, I put a message out if we're going to be late on our Patreon, and everyone is always so understanding, and it makes me feel better. But I still feel like we need to be, showing up.
I think we always felt like that.
Yeah. But I think since we said last June that we wanted to post every week, we've missed 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, which I think is fine. We're allowed a week off here and there.
We've done pretty well, I think. But we do try to be super accountable and try to be very consistent with the posting, and try not to take on more than we can handle as well. We do our best to make sure if we establish something that we can maintain it.
Yeah, we'll gradually, I think when we released the Patreon, it was just the watch along reactions. And then when we were ready, we would then do the early access where we would post a video a week early or something. And then when we're ready to add another flair to the Patreon, then we'll do it. So otherwise, you don't want to overload yourself too much. And then
promise something that you can't deliver, right? Yeah,
exactly. Just maintaining that balance and that structure, so that way it's sustainable for yourself. And whether it was the Patreon itself or just that era of the channel, was there any specific point you recall where you were like, okay, we have some traction here, we're getting subscribers, we're getting an audience, this is something we can feasibly keep going for the foreseeable future?
I think
it's probably a couple of moments. I think
when you started editing for the videos as well, I think that was another bit, because we're like, right, well, if you can start editing as well, then we can be a lot more consistent. I think that was probably a moment. I think another moment would be, when was that though? That was The Witch.
It would have been around May last year, I think.
Yeah.
It was all around a similar time we started to be more consistent, but talking about those milestones of thinking, this channel's going somewhere. I remember one of our first big videos was Saltburn way back, and that kicked off. I remember being at work at the time, and I would check up on the views of the video, and we saw it climbing a few thousand views, which was way more than we'd ever had in the amount of time.
Yeah, every video before that, I think, had been 24 views in the first 24 hours, or I think The Ring. I think
probably in the hundreds after the first few weeks, maybe at best, and then
Saltburn comes along, and then
Saltburn did 40K in a week, I think, or something.
Yeah,
huge.
Which for the channel was huge, and I think that's what really pulled us up from, I think, 100 subs to about 600-700.
Yeah, and then I think that was probably the first moment where we were like, okay, there's a little bit of traction, or maybe we just got really lucky because it was a very relevant movie at the time. It had just come out. And then another major one being when we did the Hunger Games, because that just went huge. Yeah. And then since then, we really felt the momentum start to build up, I would say, from that point, which was last summer.
Yeah, I think just having that whole Hunger Games franchise was great. And then Twilight pretty much straight after.
Yeah, that did a lot of work, I think, in growing the channel. Yeah.
At the, a little time later, more recently, you launched your first round of merch as well. And again, it just ties into the audience reception and just understanding, what you can offer them. I spoke with, about this with another channel, Previewed, Jay and Adam, who are really great guys, who are a very similar dynamic to you. They're just, good friends who, have a lot of, jokes and, a comedy background injected into the material. And they sort of broke down the complex task of recognizing your identity as a channel as it takes shape and not forcing it, not, trying to make something happen inorganically and say this is our thing now. You have to really let the audience sort of, inform you of what that is. How did you sort of begin to recognize the elements of the channel that people were latching onto, and how did that influence, the designs of the merch and how you put that out there?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly described, especially when it related to our merch and the themes that we ended up picking for the merch being like the thought slogan and I say slogan, like the phrase that we would use on the channel, and betwixt being another very bizarre thing that just came about. Like you said, just totally naturally. People picked up on it. It was just
we said it in one intro, and then we said it every time after that.
The betwixt the boys thing was like an off the cuff, bizarre comment. And we'd left it in a video, and yeah, like you said, people pick it up completely naturally, and you just do it. I think see some of the interaction in the comments and what people are saying, and what, especially recurring, like the thoughts.
And then I could plait it and put like flowers and shit in there.
Imagine that.
Thoughts?
Yeah. I just say it. I know.
That you just said it a few times, and people really started to pick up on it, and so that fed into you maybe like using it more and more. You know,
the thing is as well, I think it just really sort of like highlights my terrible vocabulary. I mean, I just say the one word.
It's kind of just a summary, isn't it?
But yeah, I don't know. And it's just like people then saying, "Oh, I would like a thoughts t-shirt," or "I would like a t-shirt with betwixt on," and then
or
I'm
a mug or something.
Like, oh, okay, well, I think we can do that and stuff. And then
we
just have a bit of fun making some merch and things, and going on Pinterest for some like inspiration. And
right, it's interesting, how that sort of develops from the audience. You know, you might drop something in there, a joke or like a line, and then it becomes like a part of the identity that you have with it. And the editing helps with that as well. The the sort of filters that you put on for some of the head thinking stuff and everything.
Kind of like possession, Dan. Thoughts?
I think that sort of it sends the message of like this is like just a line that's memorable for people to understand. And as I mentioned before, you started tapping into other genres like YA with Hunger Games and so on, and then a little bit of rom-coms after that with some of the recent films that you've been doing. Now it seems like you're breaking into more like blockbuster territory because you've done Jurassic Park and Titanic recently. Was there any sort of specific strategy in that evolution of the channel, or how did you sort of balance the audience input in general, reception with what you wanted to try next?
We had a talk, I remember, about we didn't want to tie ourselves down to just one genre when there are so many great movies out there that we would like to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's been quite natural, honestly. Like we definitely started with the horror, and then we went to the Hunger Games and sort of like you said, the young adult kind of movies very naturally. I can't even remember exactly how we ended up landing on it, but we did, and it did well. And then the next thing was the rom-coms. We just tried one out because we thought it would be fun. I think it was Mean Girls was the first one.
Mean Girls was the first, and that was a great movie.
And and I think a lot of it has been kind of natural in just thinking that could be fun. It's a bit different. We've not touched anything like that before. Let's give it a try.
And just I think like we really do listen to the community as well. Like hearing what they say that they would like us to watch.
These days,
we're always so open about.
We do run a lot of polls. A lot of the Patreon members pick a lot of what we watch these days. Probably like every 3 out of 4 movies are votes on the Patreon pages. So,
and then we'll always slip one of our own in just to make sure that if we've got a franchise on the go, that it's progressing.
And So at this point, I suppose we just try and have like a bit of a rotation. But like you say, we have kind of hit a bit more of the blockbustery, like very big cultural hits lately with Jurassic Park, Titanic, The Mummy. Kind of.
It was so fun as well.
And it's quite refreshing sometimes because we have gone through a few phases, and then to hit on something new that's like just a different enough genre, it can be quite refreshing to watch.
And have you noticed any difference between reacting to older established films from, several years ago or even like many years ago, as opposed to newer ones that, were more recently released within the past year or so?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the difference was the response from a lot of people. Like our older movies get a lot more of a negative response, and I think it might be just to do with the way that we take things quite lightly and we crack a lot of jokes. And there's a lot of people, and maybe it's a slightly generational thing. At least with the movies we did, like The Exorcist was one.
I think Alien
was maybe another movie where a lot of people would be a bit more critical, and they wouldn't enjoy the humor, or they just thought we weren't taking it seriously or respecting
respecting the source material.
So we noticed that was a big difference.
But then like Alien, I really enjoyed Alien. I thought it was like the set design was awesome.
From that point of view it was awesome.
And I really enjoyed that. So I think with the older movies they lean more into practical effects, as opposed to like overdoing the CGI, which I really enjoyed. Like Jurassic Park was awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you get into a really revered film or TV show, and people have this sort of prestige about it, and they're like, we want you to respect it the way I have for my whole life, and so any jokes about it seem like it's disrespectful in a way, but it's a very natural reaction to have to a lot of stuff, and it's something I've seen people grapple with over the years of trying to understand, like, okay, this is obviously a movie very special to people, so I can like see if I can make sure to pay attention to this one in particular. And you've also broken recently into TV as well now with Haunting of Hill House and Mike Flanagan's material. Mike Flanagan is a phenomenal writer and director.
Amazing.
I'm really excited to see what you guys think of his future work if you continue down that road of his subsequent TV shows. Particularly Midnight Mass is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So if you get to that, I will definitely be sat down to watch. But how has that also been different for you watching a TV series, week to week and with a 6+ hour story as opposed to a singular film experience?
In regards to recording, they're not that different to a movie. Apart from it's just it's a big chain, because we'll sit down and we'll record 2 episodes back to back, so it's about the same sort of length as a film. But in regards to the story, I think I much more enjoy the TV show,
right, to like dive in and follow the story for a while, and
just because it's so long, and I really enjoy having all that content to get through.
I agree in a way. There's definitely some different elements that you don't really get with especially a standalone movie. Like you follow the story, you have your own theories, you'll walk away from recording and you've got more to come that you still need to record, and you're thinking about what might happen and what you might want to say. So it's fun in that sense, and especially as with Mike Flanagan, like the way that he builds these TV shows, because we've just done Bly Manor. We haven't released it yet. We're in the process of editing it this week. It should be ready quite soon. But we've recorded 2 of his shows now, and the way he builds those TV shows are just, I love it. Like the mystery, the structure of everything, like it's so cool.
I think as well with recording, it's a lot easier because we'll sit down and we'll record 2 episodes back to back, and then we have a break in between to like reset and then focus back in. Whereas with the movie, I feel like you got to lock in for 2 hours, which it doesn't sound like a long time, but I think it can be quite hard, like to be reacting, to be paying attention.
It can when you do something like Titanic and it's 3 and a bit hours long. You get to the end and it's been such a ride, and you're like,
say something, anything.
It's a little bit of an endurance test for some of the films, to get through. It's on paper, people say it's like the easiest job in the world to sit and watch movies, but there's a lot that goes into it, just energy wise and creative wise, to make it feel like a lived in experience. The going through the TV shows, it gives you back that experience of being able to theorize and hypothesize between episodes, and get the experience that people have naturally when we watch it week to week, or even just in a binge model. You can take a break and talk about the show itself with a friend or a loved one, and getting into the future of the channel and what you can do next with it. Do you have any sort of aspirations or plans for future shows or like franchises for what you could do with it?
Shows and franchises. I think we will probably do more Mike Flanagan at some point. You mentioned Midnight Mass, and it is something that's very potentially going to be the next show we do. We're not 100% yet. We still need to actually do a vote and a poll, but it's up there for us that we really want to do that at some point soon. And other than that, like other series, we've seen a lot of big ones like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and we get comments fairly often saying, I know you've seen it before, but we'd love to watch you just go through it again and have fun and kind of commentate. And we would love to do that. If people want to watch it, we'd love to just sit down and watch it for the millionth and first time.
I think in particular, Lord of the Rings, we make so many Lord of the Rings references.
It's like a game for us now.
We're like, right, we're watching Titanic. How can we mention Lord of the Rings?
How can we slip it in?
But it would be fun, like especially like with a movie that we know so well. I think we could I would really like to dress up while like a bit of cosplay while watching something like Lord of the Rings, maybe like a little Smeagol cosplay.
Like the more outrageous, the better. I think.
As long as it doesn't get demonetized, that's fine. But,
big enough loincloth and all that.
But like, yeah, it would be fun. Like in terms of aspirations as well for the channel, we spoke. Like it would be so fun if we were able to do like a proper like sort of like meet and greet, but like maybe like rent out like a movie theater or something, and just like.
I mean, yeah, that would be crazy.
Which would be so much fun, but if it's feasible or not, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, meeting some people would be really cool as well. We've talked about that before. Yeah,
yeah. Are you able to see just from the analytics of like how much of your audience is in your vicinity?
UK in general, less than 10%.
yeah. So, you can tell by nationality, right?
Yeah.
And it's I think it's a lot, 40% American, maybe something.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and then Canada, UK, and a couple of the European,
Australia as well.
Australia, yeah. But I don't know if we could. I don't know. Maybe we'd hold one somewhere in London. Maybe
if there's enough people in the UK,
if some people wanted to, it would be super fun. Yeah,
yeah. It's not unheard of. There are definitely channels that have their own conventions every year that I know. So it's definitely there's a precedent set for it. So I know there'll be definitely some people who would be interested in probably meeting up with you for that.
That'd be good.
But yeah, even though it's early on in the channel's lifespan, it's only been a year and a half. You made such great strides, and I know the hustle to keep consistently growing is a lot. I know how much work goes into making sure that you're not stagnant, that you continue to try new ideas, to grow the channel, to grow the Patreon. How do you manage that work-life balance, maintaining your commitment to the channel, but also to each other, just as friends on and off screen?
Well, it's a lot of work
hard, isn't it? Yeah.
every week, and we do feel the pressure quite often because we do try to stay really accountable, right? So we always feel that deadline every week,
and we put a lot of it on ourselves, especially with the TV shows, because we decided that we would try and get every single Patreon watch along, every single YouTube video ready early, so we can release it in one lump for people on Patreon. But then once that's done, it's such a relief and such like a bit of downtime that we can have.
Yeah.
So
and we're right at the edge of that right now. We've been grinding away the last couple of weeks on Blind Manor, and we're almost ready. And we need to call out Ali, our editor, who's been helping us edit videos more and more lately. And especially when we do the TV shows, she's been like saving our lives, getting everything ready. So big thanks to Ali as well, helping us with that.
And then it's just, but like on the run up to it's quite hard to juggle that balance. Like, got so many spinning plates that we've got to keep going and things, but there are periods where we can have a bit of downtime. But it's
and we do like it can slip naturally, sort of like just hanging out with no influence from the channel or anything like that, just as friends. Sometimes it can slip a little, but I think we do try to maintain that.
Hop on and play a couple of games of Fortnite every now and then, and
or a cinema, a cinema trip or something. Like I think we're going to go and see Fantastic Four when that comes out soon.
Yeah, I think, because we go to the cinema called Everyman. It's like a nice little like table service. You get some nice food and a little mate date.
Pretty much.
It's important to maintain those off-screen relationships because you don't want it to turn to entirely about work. You don't want to monetize every aspect of your life and the friendship because then that's how you quickly get into burnout. And I guess to sort of wind things down, that ties into what has been the most consistent obstacle that you two have faced with the channel so far over the last year and a half.
Copyright, I think.
Copyright, copyright is always difficult, and
especially within the last 4 weeks, I think.
The last month has been brutal. An hour before we jumped on here today, we had Titanic
taken from us,
restricted. Unfortunately,
Jurassic Park's been taken, The Mummy, all within the last 4 weeks. And I think starting the channel and just learning how to get around the copyright and stuff, and
because it's a mystery, isn't it? It's very vague. You don't have any solid guidance on exactly how to do that. And obviously, you want to have fair use and you want to try and make it transformative and just use it as a reference, as much as is needed and no more.
Yeah, because we want to play by the rules, we want to do it fairly, but there's no clear-cut guidelines, and then it feels like you're being punished for breaking the rules that are never stated.
It's just a tricky thing, isn't it? Yeah, very ephemeral.
But apart from that, I think not many struggles. I think when we plan to record, we're pretty on it all the time.
Yeah, we got a good flow early on, and I don't think it's massively changed. I think we've got quite comfortable in the routine and what we've established. And like we say, we try to, like, when we do expand, we try to make sure that it's maintainable. So I feel like, the biggest challenge is usually just copyright and maybe just making sure we always hit those deadlines every week.
And then also just making sure that we actually have some time to ourselves.
Here and there where we can.
Again, finding that balance. And how do you feel you've personally grown over the time with the channel?
I feel a lot more like confident in myself. Oddly, which feels weird. I feel like, because like talking to a camera at first, it was really hard, and I almost felt shy, which was so weird, because it's just me and you sat with a camera. Like, it doesn't even have to go anywhere, the footage.
Right.
But
you do kind of pick up those kind of in front of camera skills a little bit, though, right?
I think
just
so.
Kind of naturally being in that space for a bit. I would say for me, it's been like a fun. It's been a bit of an adventure, like it's been a personal project between me and Jack that has just evolved into something a bit bigger. And now there's so many people in our community, that are supporting us. And it's just really cool to see something that we've built. And, I've managed to quit my job, or my old job recently, to work on this, which is like a really cool, cool thing. Yeah. So I suppose just some of the changes in my life like that, and seeing some of the engagement from people, and doing this thing together.
And it's so rewarding as well, like seeing people pop up in the comments and in the chats in Patreon, like week in, week out, showing support. It really is, it like keeps you going and stuff, and it is really great.
Yeah, it's great. It's that's the community is definitely a huge motivation to continue doing what you're doing. And that might tie into our last question, which is beyond any monetary or financial value, what would you say is the most rewarding aspect of the channel?
I'm going to say that again, like the sense of community that we've built, especially like everyone Patreon, everyone is so lovely.
Yeah,
and they're all chatting, nice. And it's great, and it's that in itself, I think, is a huge achievement to have brought all these people together and like build this community.
We have some amazing supportive people over on Patreon, or even just in the YouTube comments that follow us on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah,
we always see them turn up. And
I don't want to forget about the YouTube. I just mean, obviously, the chats in the Patreon are quite extensive, but obviously everyone in the comments on the YouTube as well.
Yeah, just in the community in general.
Yeah.
And I'll give a quick second answer, is to have a sort of record of all of these experiences that we've had watching a movie in a more personal way between the two of us. It's really nice to have like this big catalog of like silly little reactions we've done and had fun, and we've had so many laughs, and it's just cool to, even though we don't often look back at them, when we do, it's really nice. And I hope that like in years' time we can look back and sort of reminisce, and it'll be quite nostalgic.
It's like it's creating shared memories with each other as well. Like we'll sit and watch these movies, especially the horror ones, and we'll try and crack jokes because we're so scared, and it's our way of coping. And then we'll come back and edit it, and then one of us will be editing, and we'll call the other in to have a look and like, oh, look how ridiculous we look, or look at this.
Yeah, you hear one person have a giggle and the other one will wander in to see what's going on.
Come in to see how it's going. It's just like, like you said, the shared experiences and these like genuine like memories of a lifetime, I feel that we're going to share, which is great, I think.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. And the memories that you build for, again, the audience who watches these movies now and like now apply certain things. I remember the one that I was trying to think of, which is I was watching your Signs reaction the other day, and you misread the word veterinarian as vegetarian.
Oh my God. I saw you say
yeah. See, we remember these things and we have such a laugh all over again, right? Like,
why is he announcing that to everyone?
I think that made me really laugh in the moment as well. I remember that got good.
Yeah. So it's those moments that will live on, for as the part of the channel's legacy, for sure.
Yeah, I hope so.
We do have our final questionnaire that we give to everyone here at the end of the show. Just 10 questions down the line for both of you. So we'll just jump into that. The first one is, what is your favorite TV show of all time?
That's tough. That's tough. I've never watched a lot of TV, I'll be honest. I remember watching Breaking Bad early on, and I loved that at the time. That was huge. And another call out would be, growing up, I watched Scrubs, and I loved it. I loved Scrubs so much, and it was one of the first TV shows I'd ever watched. And still, I'm watching it back actually now. I've just started watching it back, and it's just so cozy and familiar. And so that's probably it's got to be mine. Probably Scrubs.
Both good picks.
I would struggle to say just one, but Game of Thrones, Stranger Things,
Mm.
the Office, the US Office. Is that treasonous to say? I don't know. It's obviously the UK one, but
Actually, I probably have like, because it's more recent, I'm biased, but maybe even like Hill House. I'm sure some of Flanagan's stuff is going to be my favorite TV ever. I'm quite confident to say that. Yeah. I loved it.
Again, when you get to Midnight Mass, I'm definitely going to be interested in checking that out for you guys.
I'm excited.
What is your favorite film of all time?
Easy, Interstellar. Seen it about 20 times.
Yeah. I feel like I'm famously quite bad at these kind of questions, but if it's not unfair to pick a trilogy, I would pick a Lord of the Rings. It's like I
want to say
it's a small series.
Damn, because I really do like Interstellar, but
honorable mention,
and then Lord of the Rings, the whole thing.
Yeah. I think it would have to be my pick.
Yeah. Next question is, what stresses you out?
Editing, YouTube, copyright.
I think I'm generally quite a chill guy. I would say the only thing I think can get me a little stressed is the pressure of the deadline sometimes is one thing. And it's like just an anxious feeling, I would say, for me. I just like to be on top of it.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of chill, I think. I say I'm a chill guy. He said in a chill way. But I also think like just meeting deadlines, because I'm also still working my job. I've got work deadlines as well as our self-imposed deadlines.
Right.
So I think it's just like get the work-life balance, and then slot in YouTube. It's just a bit stressful all around, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, conversely, what helps you relax?
For me, probably locking myself away, and having some like good alone time with like a video game, maybe a movie.
Oh yeah.
I love music. I play guitar. Sometimes it's playing guitar, less than I'd like these days. But I'm quite an introverted guy, honestly. I really do love my quality time. I think that's probably my answer.
For me, I'd probably just I just love going to the cinema. Like, if I was feeling super stressed, I would just book something, head to the cinema for 2 hours, or I would, just boot up the PS5, play some games, like swing around New York as Spider-Man, see if any of my mates are online on Discord and just join them for some games or something. So
right. Absolutely. That might tie into the next question, which is, what hobby or passion do you have outside of TV and film?
Yeah, gaming, I think, for me is pretty big at the moment.
Big one for both of us, I think, and it always has been. We played badminton back in the day. We've both stopped more recently. We go to the gym. I'm pretty big into the gym. I've always loved music. Play guitar. So that's I'm kind of a bedroom guitarist, though, really. I just keep it to myself. But
you listed off a few things there. I don't know. I try to get to the gym as well. I'm doing a lot of running lately as well, which is kind of a new thing for me. Which I guess actually probably is another answer for what relaxes you, what de-stresses you.
Okay, yeah.
Clear my head.
Going to a run, hit the gym, for sure.
Yeah.
The cliche answers, but true.
Yeah. But it's, as long as it works,
Yeah.
What fictional character do you relate to or just care deeply about?
Oh, kid.
I'd say I relate to Aragorn,
Son of Arathorn.
Son of Arathorn, a bit of Legolas on occasion when I'm sliding down the stairs.
Yeah. It's visualizing.
But in reality, I probably would be more of a Pippin.
I think probably we are more of a Merry and Pippin than anything else.
Yeah.
So maybe relate to in that sense, yes. One of my favorite characters ever, genuinely though, is probably Aragorn, talking of Lord of the Rings being my favorite movies, and him just being such a great example of like a healthy masculine leader, like a good example of like a noble good guy,
honorable,
in this kind of like fantasy story. So many elements, and I think Viggo Mortensen did such a good job in portraying that. He's just got an air about him of like nobility. I don't know how else to describe it. I think he just nailed it, and I love that character for that reason.
I loved Gandalf when I was a kid watching Lord of the Rings.
Gandalf the Grey.
Gandalf the Grey specifically, because he was so much more chill. He's always smoking his pipe weed, getting a bit wavy. Yeah, and I don't know what it was. He just seemed more like like a fun guy, and I just remember feeling
Down
like
with the
really
hobbits.
cool with him. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Gandalf the Grey was the man. That's the guy.
Gandalf the White, he was like a bit of a nerd,
He was more on task.
bit of a straight arrow.
Yeah, he was like all about saving the realm.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, come on, just get some pipe weed. Come on, Gandalf.
Chill out.
It's all business.
What is your guilty pleasure show or film?
Ooh, guilty pleasure. I don't know. I always have a hard time with guilty pleasures because I just can't. I like them.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel so guilty. I'm like, what? I just like this. Yeah, I just own it. I think.
Yeah.
Probably something like, and it's a movie that I would love to do with Jack on the channel, but I've seen it a million times. Is White Chicks.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm familiar with like obviously like the big things like the Terry Crews singing.
Right.
But yeah, that would be a fun one to do.
That would be so great. And kind of, it's like, it's not typically a movie that I would watch much these days, but I remember watching it when I was younger and I loved it. Like, so kind of silly movies like that are just super wacky and probably a bit inappropriate and, just fun.
Right.
For me, there was a moment where I was like watching Love is Blind and I loved it. Oh my God.
Is it like British TV?
I think there's an American one as well. It's like they're in these pods and they don't see each other. They have to talk like to get to know each other.
Yeah.
Loved it. Like I didn't expect to like get into it so much.
Yeah.
But it was great. But I'm trying to think like recently as well for me, like all of these rom-coms that we're doing that I just didn't expect to enjoy as much as I have. Yeah. Legally Blonde. Oh my God. What an absolute stellar movie.
We loved it. Yeah, that was so much fun.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you did 10 Things I Hate About You. That's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, that's really great. That was one of my favorites too. From those.
Yeah, a bit of Heath Ledger,
Yeah. But Love is Blind is a common answer among these because I think for reaction purposes, a lot of people like reality TV because it's such a different experience from a reaction. That's something you can definitely watch without having to be engaged with, like in the same way, like creatively or sort of like mentally. You could just like really just soak yourself into it. So I think it's a good palate cleanser for a lot of reactors.
Just put it on the TV and just like sink into the sofa and just don't have to worry about
What show or film gave you your favorite reaction experience with the channel?
Favorite reaction experience. I think we'd have to mention dressing up for the final Twilight movie.
That's it for me.
Because that was so much fun as an experience.
I remember Dan obviously had this vampire skin. We bought like glitter spray. We're in the garden and I emptied about half the canister on his face. Neighbors looking like, what's going on over there as I'm dressed as a puppy?
Yeah, so we had so much fun with that.
But that whole experience, it was so hot in that suit. But dressing up was great.
Like, I had those teeth on and I was like licking
the
whole time. But yeah, that was so much fun. And I think like in a broader sense, doing the series at that time, doing the Hunger Games all the way through, doing Twilight from start to finish, like the experience of doing all of them and like following the story, like you say with the TV series where you can like follow it a little bit. And it's that much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think we both feel the same way in that we're like following like a series.
Yeah, and I think coming to the end, like the final Hunger Games movie.
Yeah.
Was great as well.
We were kind of sad to finish it.
It was really sad because
and the same with Twilight.
I looked forward to it, Every time we were going to do it, it was something to look forward to. And then it came to an end and I was a bit sad.
Yeah, and especially with what it did for the channel at the time, it was like just very exciting. So there's some of like my favorite experiences, I would say, others would be random, like Legally Blonde and The Mummy that we did recently. I love doing that.
Favorite one of my favorite ones as well. Sorry, we're yapping away over here.
Yeah,
Eric, do apologize.
Okay.
Paranormal Activity, the marked ones.
Yes,
I enjoy doing that one so much. But that's when our mics cut out for the first time on the PC. We screamed so loud the whole PC shut down.
That's right.
We had to recover everything with all the corrupt files.
It was actually me that time. It's usually you. But it was me that time.
Yeah. That's another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, again, all great memories to carry with you, moving forward for the rest of the channel. What show or film do you wish you could erase from your memory and react to again for the first time on camera?
Interstellar. Lord of the Rings, though, maybe. That would be another good one
Lord
as well.
of the Rings would be incredible, yeah.
Oh,
I suppose it often does tie in with your favorite movie. Like I mentioned White Chicks earlier in this context. Like I would still love to watch it for the first time.
You can just sit there and watch.
If I could wipe my memory and we could go and do it together, that would be so much fun because it's so ridiculous, man. I think it would be so easy to react to.
Yeah. I think Game of Thrones would have been a great one to do, like as a first time reaction, just like because it's so heavy at times, and I think it would make for some good.
And it's massive, isn't it? So and
then you're set for 8 seasons of content, Dan. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big catalyst of the reaction space in general, so it's definitely has its own footprint in the genre.
But as well, things like Stranger Things as well is something I've really enjoyed, and I would like to be able to do that again on the not again, but I would like to erase that to do for the channel.
If you could,
that was always
you'll have possibly the last season to react to when that comes out this year. So
and Dan's only seen season
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
So
but I never got onto this.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good one. I think if you guys wanted to do 3 and 4 for just dancing, I think that'd be a great series to react to, getting ready for the final season.
Maybe we can. Like, I'm down to do. I'd be down to do anything really for the channel. So
we'll front it to the Patreon polls.
See
what they say.
See what the boss says. And the final question we have here is, what advice would you give to your past self if you can go back in time when you first started the channel?
I'd go back in time to 2020 when we actually recorded us watching Harry Potter and then didn't do anything with it.
Like you had that idea way back, and it was in lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you had the idea the first time back then.
We have the footage somewhere,
Yeah. God, that would be an awful.
Maybe a Patreon exclusive. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't even know if we say if it's like worth watching, but
who knows what it would be like. It would be funny.
I would go back and be like, right, Jack, sit down, edit this video, and then post it. All right. And
do it now.
Doing this.
Yeah.
But if I was going back to, last year, 18 months ago, whatever it was, I would say just, have fun with it. Just don't let the comments get to you. Get some thick skin, and just enjoy it and stick with it. Yeah.
I think that's it. Honestly, I wouldn't have any like major points other than the typical like start doing more sooner and start investing more. But at the time, you never know if it's going to go anywhere, and you just have to take it as it comes. And when you're ready to take the next step, and I think we've done pretty well in that sense so far.
Yeah, I feel like what I just said there makes it sound like we always get negative comments. It's not. it's very rare, but when they come, they can. Especially when they get a bit personal.
Inevitably.
Yeah, it's rare, but then the ones that do come, they stick out, and so they stick in your memory. So it's definitely something to address. For yourself. But as you said, Dan, Jack, it's only been such a short time with the channel, but you have made such major strides with it, and I really, really appreciate everything that you've brought to the space. Again, with your humor and just with your overall good attitude with the material. So thank you so much for what you do and for coming on today.
Oh, man, thanks so much.
Thanks for having us. It's so cool to be here.
It's been really fun.
Of course. Where can we find you on YouTube, social media, anywhere otherwise?
YouTube, Jack and Dan React. Social media, we haven't got it started yet.
We don't have an official social media page. We just have our own personal Instagram. So that's something that we need to get established, really. So it is mostly just the YouTube channel
at the moment.
And we do post our links to our other Instagram socials in all the videos. So if anyone wants to find them, they'll be in there too.
Great. You can find me at NerdChronic across social media. You can find us at the Reactorverse across social media as well. You'll find links to our Discord and Patreon down below. And we'll catch everyone on the next episode.